Well, it's been a while. I've been busy golfing because I had to get cataracts, and turns out when that happened, my golf game improved dramatically. It helps to be able to see the ball, and also depth perception was off initially, so with the cataracts all that got dialed in. So I've been binging golf big time. But anyhow, I thought I'd go out for a spin. I need to get some new golf sunglasses, so I'm gonna do a little shopping around. But I figured since it's been so long, we'd go for a little spin. I haven't been using the bike as much as I was initially. I got a new toy for the bike. Here's a little thing on the side here, and that's so I don't have to grip it so much on the throttle side. It's kind of like, you just have to use your palm of your hand to hold the throttle in position. So for long rides and stuff, it's less wear and tear on the hands. And this is typically if you're doing long rides through streets where you can't have the auto, the cruise control enabled, so it kind of relaxes your hand. It's pretty nice. It takes a little getting used to. Initially, I kind of flared it a couple times when I was at a light, and went forward when I didn't plan to. But you figure that out pretty quickly. You won't do that again. But I like it. It's only like, I don't know, $8 or something for it. You just clip it on the end here, and then just rest your hand on it, and you can generate the throttle that way. Everything else I have is all the same stuff we've talked about before, the windshield and the highway bars and that kind of stuff. My bike was part of the recall, so I had to bring it into Honda and have them replace a bolt that if it broke, it would cause the rear wheel to lock up at any given moment. So obviously that's dangerous. So that took about a week. And while they were at it, I said, what the hell, you might as well do the air filter, which is a huge pain in the ass. You have to rip so much of the front of the bike off and everything, and all the plastics, and it's hard to get at. And since they had to do a lot of that for the recall, the bolt replacement thing, I went and bought an air filter and then asked them to install that while they were at it, and they did, and just charged me, pretty minimal labor charge, which was nice of them. So yeah, so now the bike, there's no risk that it's gonna excuse me, that it's gonna lock up. It continues to be a huge joy to use when I do get out. It's so easy to drive, but I highly recommend the DCI. I have a feeling this is the future of biking, because especially for anything that you're going to put long miles on, it just takes the wear and tear off your hands clutching, and it's less complicated. It's similar, just like how automatic cars are more prevalent now than. But if you want to do the sporty thing and pop the clutch and wheelie and stuff like that, then stick with the manual. But anyhow, I hope you guys are all doing well. The weather in San Diego, we have a month we call May gray, and then we have June gloom, and we're in the middle of June gloom. It tends to be a lot of overcast days, and so we've been in a pocket of those lately. Not a lot of sunshine, but it's great golfing weather, because when it's overcast like this, it doesn't get as windy, so it's much easier to golf, So I also got new tires. I had the eventually, let me think, I had about 10,000 on my original tires from when I bought the bike. This is a 2021 Gold Wing. And so they lasted on about 10,000 miles before. The rear was pretty worn. Front wasn't too bad. But when I changed the tires, I decided to change both of them. And I kept the front tire as a spare just in case. So I went with the Dunlop, I think they're called Elite E4s, I think it is. And I love them. I noticed a difference there. They seem to be, they're not as loud, which is nice. The other ones seem to be a lot more road noise. And they're comfortable, so no complaints. So I was 64-ish when I bought the bike. I was 64. 67 now, so it's been 3 years. I don't have a lot of miles on it. I mean, I'm just at 9,500 miles now. So when I do cruise, it's just for a little, like, just enough to get out, maybe go down by the beach or the Pacific Coast Highway or something like that, or do some kind of cruise like I'm doing now, to go shopping for something. I prefer to stay off the highway. It seems to be more fun to me, less wind buffeting you and stuff, and the slower speeds is nice, less stress. The bike has been spectacular. Zero issues really. Can't think of anything. All I've been doing with it is oil changes, and when I need a filter change, I do that. The DCT has a filter you have to change along with the oil filter. The DCT has been bulletproof. You know, if you typically end up riding in tour mode because it's just a perfect combination of performance and smoothness. Where if you want to get peppy, you can put it in sport mode, and then it's very jumpy. You know, the throttle is very reactive, so, which is great for that mode. But if you're just cruising around, you'll typically find yourself in tour mode most of the time. I must say, it's really, you know, if you're thinking about buying a motorcycle and you're not sure, and this is one of the bikes you're considering, you're really going to be shocked, especially if you've never driven a DCT before. It's really nice. It's really, really nice. I bet you good money that if you're thinking about getting a bike and this is the style of bike you're interested in, and you try this, you're going to be hard pressed not to move forward. And the reliability is typical Honda, you know. So it's kind of like, I remember when in my whole career, I was using Windows type computers, and it involved a boatload of knowing the operating system and maintaining it and handling viruses, and it felt like most of the time I was solving a blue screen problem and reinstalling the entire you know, the operating system. And then my friend told me, you know, for your home computer, you should really get a Mac. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. That seems like such a, you know, it wasn't a very engineering type of product, you know. But for home use, who needs all that technical stuff like I was using? I used to write software, so I was buried in that world, you know. Anyhow, so I bought a Mac, I think it was 2009, and the only thing I do with that freaking thing is turn it on, use it, turn it off. Turn it on, check my mail, do this, do that, turn it off. No virus issues, no maintaining anything. Well, that's exactly what a Honda motorcycle is. You want to be able to just go for a ride, get on, just start it up, go for a ride, come home, shut it off. I have to admit though, I did have one issue, and it was 100% self-inflicted. So I went and brought the bike in for that recall, and I hadn't been using it that much, so I started up, drove it to the dealer very slowly, so that in case the bolt let go. Anyhow, and I brought it in, and it sat there for a week because it's a no charge thing, so they're going to do it at their leisure. You know, I can't blame them for that. So it's sitting in there for a week. So finally, I go pick it up. Everything's fine. I bring it home, park it in the garage, and I don't do anything with it, you know. And so I'm golfing. I'm playing a ton of golf, and then one day I go, hey, I think I'll go for a spin. And it might have been like 2 months without riding the bike, you know. And so I went to start it up, and sure enough, the battery's dead. So I'm like, oh shit, now what do I do? Maybe I have to get a new battery. So I researched it, and one guy said, thank God for Google and YouTube and everything. One guy says, oh, just buy a trickle charger, hook it up, and let it sit overnight, and see if that recovers the battery. And the real test is, yeah, it might charge it. You want to make sure it holds the charge. So I did, like, I think it was like $40 for this trickle charger thing. Hooked it up. Next day, it looked like you know, the LEDs said it was charged, fully charged. Like, okay, that's a good start. And then kicked the bike over, worked fine. Went there the next day to check it out to make sure it's still holding a charge, and it's been great ever since. So that was a minor difficulty, but so there's an example. It's good to have a trickle charger. If you're going to let the bike sit for too long, you can just leave it on the trickle charger and not even worry about it, you know. And then when you want to go ride, you're good to go. This is Torrey Pines Beach. Nice gray day. You can smell the salt in the air. It's a famous, great place to come, and then people hike up the Torrey Pine Cliffs. That's where the golf course is. So people like to come here, and then they walk up at the cliffs, get a good workout. There's a big loop you can do. You can go up the cliffs, and then through some nice trails, and then back down to this beach over here, and then back to your car, and you can walk along the beach on the way back. It's good to stay the hell away from the cliffs though, because there's been problems in the past where they collapse and people have gotten in big trouble. So it's good to stay away. It's a sandstone, so it's not something that's very stable. So this is classic San Diego weather, May, June. Sometimes we dodge the gloom stuff, but most of the time we don't. So it's kind of a thing that I would have never thought of. Like, if I grew up in the East Coast in Massachusetts, and so I've always heard San Diego, oh, it's so beautiful, you know. And I wouldn't think twice about coming here in May or June and have bad weather, you know, but who'd have thought, right? But you could come here around this time of year and have a 3-week vacation when not one day of sunshine. get a new pair of motorcycle like riding boots. I bought the pair 3 years ago, and I didn't know, like, just I'm learning as you get older, things happen, and one of the things that happens is your feet grow. And I was like, all of a sudden those boots got uncomfortably tight, and what the hell is happening? Same with all my golf shoes, and I was like, what is going on? And so, yep, so now get a little about a half a size larger foot, so fun with age. Kind of like an exploration mode today. I really don't even have a plan. I'm trying to think of like what would be a good place to get with sunglasses. I just want some cheap sunglasses because I'm gonna lose them. So why bother? I used to buy these Maui Gems, which were friggin' awesome sunglasses, really nice lenses, but they were like too much money to be freaking losing them, and I would freaking lose them. I'd have them on my hat. Say I'm golfing and it's sunny, so I got them on my eyes, and then all of a sudden it gets cloudy, and so I put them on the top of my hat, and then I swing really hard with my driver or something, and zing! I don't know it, they're gone. So that's been fun. So I've decided to solve that problem. I'll just get cheap ones, so I don't care if I do lose them. It's not gonna kill me. Going right by the University of California, San Diego. My son attended there. He was a big cross-country runner for them. Did really well. That's the school here right here on our left, all the way down on the left. It's a big campus. But yeah, this bike has been spectacular. I love the power windshield thing. You know, you can raise it and lower it. That's one of my favorite, if not my favorite thing about the motorcycle. Because I'm not a big fan of highway wind and everything, but then I do love the back roads and feeling the breeze, you know. But yeah, there's nothing like it. I mean, like I said, I'm like 67, so I'm retired, so there's a lot of days I'm hanging around. If I'm not golfing, I'm just hanging around, and I'm like, you know, the wife might be out doing something. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do today? And inevitably, it ends up, lately it's been go back to golfing, or I set up a golf simulator in my house, so that's really helped my golf game immensely, like hugely. And that's been a lot of fun. So lately the bike has really taken a back seat to golf, because once I could see, my depth perception was good. I was able to hit the ball better, much better. You know, before I had one eye that thought the ball was bigger than what the other eye thought. So my depth perception would be off, and so I would top the ball a lot, you know, thinking it was closer to me, thinking it was closer to me, and it was actually a little bit further away, and then bang, I'd hit the top of the ball. So that makes it really difficult. Anyhow, that's solved, so that's why I've been binging on golf. And I even bought stuff to you know, tools for my garage to monkey around with my golf clubs if I want to bend them, you know, different lies or different lofts, and I've been playing around with that. That's been a lot of fun. But anyhow, it's such a, it's so nice to be able to get on this motorcycle and maybe just go for like half-hour cruise, or just, you know, 15 minutes for that matter, and it's spectacular. It's something, and it's like a big-ass bike. You're going, Jesus, that's a big-ass bike. It's over 800 pounds, right? But I've been saying before, the weight's really low, so it's easy to handle. I don't even dick around with doing any kind of slow speed shit. You know, if I have to do a U-turn or something, I may do like a 5-point turn. I don't care. I could care less. I mean, it has this walking mode thing, so I can go like 1 mile an hour in reverse or forward, and I'll just and then turn around if I have to, rather than try to do a slow speed turn and dump it and snap my ankle or something. It's not worth it. I mean, if I was younger, I'd probably give it a run, but too much weight. I don't want to play around with it at all. Zero. So that's one good thing. I mean, this bike lets you get away with stuff like that because of the low speed stuff it has. 1 mile an hour walking gear, you know. Because initially that's kind of something you got to get used to, because you don't have a clutch, so you don't feather the control of the power like you would with a clutch. You can just ease on the power and that kind of thing. But without that, you know, you have to actually use the brake at the same time as the throttle, and the brake becomes the way of feathering the clutch, you know, like as if you were feathering the clutch. And that works great. It just takes a while to get used to that. But that's what I'll do when I need to do a really slow speed maneuver. I'll keep the throttle up and then just squish on my foot brake and control how fast I want to. Like if I was going to do a turn right here, that's how I do it. I just keep the gas on and keep my foot on the brake, and then just ease it around, and then let go of the brake, and you know, that kind of thing, just like you would with a clutch. And once you get used to it, you're fine doing that. But initially, that was the scariest part of this bike, I must say, is like any slow speed turns. So I just initially I just would, like I said, I do like a 15-point turn if I had to, and just walk it, you know, at the 1 mile an hour speed. Nice ride. So it's Sunday. Surprised, I guess a lot of people headed down. So to go that way is to go to La Jolla, and that's a popular spot. A lot of touristy kind of things. It's beautiful beaches, and there's like a rocky coastline that's really, really popular. Okay, so I'm trying to think of where I want to go for sunglasses. I might have to jump on the highway. I think I'm going to try south of here on Rosecrans. There's because that's the area where there's a lot of boating. I used to have my boat down there. And there's a sporting goods store that I remember had a good selection of cheap sunglasses like fishermen might want to use, you know. forget what it's called. I think it's Big 5 Sports, something like that. On the highway, I'd like to either be in the far right lane or the far left lane, and in case I have to do any quick maneuvers and get out of the way of something, I know I can bail to the right immediately, not even have to look to see if anyone's coming. Same with the left-hand lane. I just feel more safe there, and I don't go fast. I'm not interested in I just feel safer, you know. Once you get retired, your whole goal is to not die. So, you want to keep having fun. Now we're on Route 5. They call it the 5. We're on our way south. This is we're heading from like the La Jolla area toward downtown. Popular spot. It's a big open, like think of it as a park, humongous park, right on the ocean. And it's an inlet, it's a man-made inlet where people can bring their, what are they called? Like, surfboards with a pipe with a sail on them, and what are they called? Sailboarders. A lot of people, there's a nice trail, like asphalt trail that goes along the whole thing. It's like about 5 miles. So people go there and they'll run or jog and they'll just go for a walk or biking. I think you can, I'm not sure if you can have an open campfire there. But there's a place, Fiesta Island, I know you can have an open campfire there, and that's right near there too. See a lot of people come here when especially in the summer when it's super hot inland. East of here it'll get really hot because they won't even get any of the ocean breeze, so it could be upwards 90s or 100. So those people, a lot of them will come here for the weekend with a trailer, and you can park your trailer or camper at Mission Bay. I'm not sure if they even charge you anything. And, they'll spend the weekend in the cool near the water. It'll be a lot cooler weather here. This is like the start of Mission Bay. You can see the people on the jet skis. They have areas for different things. Like, so this is like the jet ski area. So in other words, like, people that are doing their surfboarding thing aren't allowed there because they don't want to smash into each other. So they zone each area, so it's really a lot safer that way. You can see all the campers. A lot of fun. Great place to have fun with the family. Amazing story was with my neighbor. He's like 4 years younger than me. His name is Pete. And so I talk with him once in a while, and I saw him one day and he said, I got some big news. I go, what's up? He said, I'm going in for a quadruple bypass next week. I was like, holy shit. So what's with that? He said, well, I passed my stress test, my numbers are good, my cholesterol numbers are good, I'm very active, I play racquetball 3 times a week, I eat right, but my family has a history of trouble with cardiovascular disease, so his dad died of a heart attack at 50. His brother just had a triple bypass the year before. So anyhow, his doctor had him take an additional cholesterol test, and it's called, they call it capital L, capital P, and then little a in parentheses, LPA. And it's another value you can get to give you an indicator of maybe your risk of heart attack or stroke. Anyhow, his number was really high. It was like 150, and it's not supposed to be above 30. So that was a trigger for his doctor to then get the insurance company to pay for a cardio angiogram. So they did that, and they found out he had 90% blockage and it's hard, so they scheduled the quadruple within a week. So he's just, I mean, he is so lucky that one doctor had told him he's good to go after he passed the stress test and everything else. And it wasn't for this other doctor that recommended the LPA test that was the trigger to go forward with more testing that led to this. So anyhow, and this LPA value is something that's genetic. There's no matter how well you eat, it doesn't make a difference. How much exercise, it does not make a difference. Your body generates this stuff and it can clog your arteries, and so it's good to be tested for it. So I added that test because of him. I said, oh shit, because I've been getting stress tests, make sure everything's cool, because I don't want a surprise, you know. Anyhow, so my number came back really high, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. So I told my family they should all get tested. So my sister got tested, and her number came back wicked high. Like, so she's getting, because of that test, that bad number, she's getting the insurance company's covering a CT coronary angiogram for her, and that's coming up on June 16th. So that'll be kind of giving me a little heads up of see where she's at, if she's experienced any clogging or anything like that, or is it's just something she's managing through cholesterol meds, you know. So I'm in the boat too. I was able to get that CT coronary, and not till July 31st. So we'll see where I'm at. But I know, I mean, I was in the heart monitoring field for 10 years, and there was so many stories of people with zero symptoms that all of a sudden their head hit the desk at work or something, and they had a massive coronary heart attack and they were gone. Sad but true. You know, no symptoms. And Pete's an example of that. He's zero symptoms, just passed all the stress tests, all that, and bang, he needs a quadruple bypass. Alright, so I gotta loop around here somehow. Anyhow, so I'm sharing that information. I highly recommend it. It's free. You know, if you do your normal blood test with your doctor, just have them add that. Capital L, capital P, little a, and just see where you're at. And then do what I do. Like if it comes out really high, then lobby to get the CT coronary. It's a non-invasive check to see how much blockage you have in your arteries. And if you're fine, you're fine. If you're not, they can go in and do something about it before, God forbid, something happens, right? So you may have to get a stint or something. So what? Do it, you know. Anyhow, that's my public service announcement for the bike ride. And now we're back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay, so somehow I'm gonna move over here. So now we're on Rosecrans. This road is this is one of the most eclectic areas of San Diego. You've got the ultra wealthy people with their humongous yachts. It's a very big boating community and fishing. And yeah, then the other side of the coin is you got people working for a living, trying to catch fish every day. And they're all lumped in this one area of San Diego, just off of San Diego Bay, where Point Loma is at the end of this. It's a military base, but fun area. A lot of fun restaurants and bars, and people are awesome. The Liberty Station on our left. It's like a new popular thing. They took parts of, I think it was the military place down here on the left. I don't think we're at Liberty Station yet. Maybe we are. Anyhow, and they turned a whole section of it into like a big Faneuil Hall, if you're familiar with Boston. So it's all indoors. You go in there and there's tons of restaurants, small little restaurants. You can, you know what I mean, like teeny little walk-up places to get a lobster roll. There it is, Liberty Station. get a lobster roll or, you know, some other snacky kind of food. See if I can loop around here without tipping over. Since I haven't been riding for a while, I can feel the stress already, like trying to turn here. Even though you'll laugh at it because it's such a big turn. I might even bail out and chicken out and just go down, and maybe we could cruise through a little bit through Liberty Station and then come back out again. That wouldn't hurt. You can get a, yeah, I'll use that as my excuse because I want to avoid turning. I'll say, yeah, I really want to show you guys Liberty Station. It has nothing to do with my wimpy inability to do a U-turn. Yeah, so that's the whole Liberty Station on our left. That whole section of, like, whatever that color is, terracotta or something, building. And it's goes pretty deep in too, so lots to see inside of there. So right now I'm on the brake and gas at the same time. Popular place to go on a Sunday. This is pretty packed.
Everybody really get paid. So that
I must say, one of the most amazing things that I've seen, and I don't know if it's happening in your part of the world, but kids are allowed to ride electric bikes around here. And we're talking like middle school. I'm not sure if elementary school can, but I know for a fact middle school kids, high school, and they're everywhere. And guess what? A little kid on a bike, a little kid on a motorcycle with like one of those cheap kind of, not a motorcycle helmet by any means, but they're on their e-bike, and they go, I think they go upwards of 35 miles an hour. And they're in traffic, and it's incredible. I mean, I could not imagine, and I would never ever let my kid ride an e-bike. Well, for two reasons. One, it scared me to death. He or she would get in trouble with it and get hurt. And plus, at that age, they need to be biking. You know, they should be pedaling a bike, not driving one, you know? So yeah, and I asked around, I said, are the kids, like, before they're allowed to get on the e-bike, are they given an idea of the rules of the road, or is there anything at all that they say to them, you know? Any tips, any rules? Nothing. Zero. They sell them the e-bike and they're off and running. Can you imagine? Hey, yep. It's insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, there isn't, you know, every day I'm on the bike, it's like there's always something you have to be aware of, you know. And meanwhile, you know, you'll see the kid on the bike with his cell phone, looking at his cell phone, his friends on the back, they don't have a helmet on. They're in their shorts or like a bathing suit, whipping around 30 miles right through stop signs. I just don't know what parents are thinking. It's crazy. Okay, I apologize, that was another public service announcement. I did say I was only going to do one. Okay, I'm done. It's official. That was the last one. So this is still this is all the Point Loma area. So we're just north of downtown. We're probably like, you can see it in the distance. I don't know if you can see the building. We're probably like about a 10-minute drive to downtown from here. Maybe not even 10 minutes. We're pretty close. see a Burger King. And there aren't many around here. And I've been watching TV at night and they keep popping on these Burger King Whopper commercials, and it's tugging at me. That may be in my near future. Very near future. That's the same mall that has the sunglasses store. I think it's called, well, we'll find out, we're almost there. But it's conveniently located right near the Burger King. If I can smell the onion rings. They're sneaky like that. They must blast that greasy smell out there with big fans so it spreads across the whole neighborhood. Okay, we made it. Oh, here it is. Big 5 something. Big 5 Sporting Goods. Home of the cheap sunglasses. Right next to the freaking McDonald's and Burger King. How can you beat that? Just landed in heaven. Alright guys, well thanks for joining me. I know it's been a while. Golf is taking over. I have the golf bug. I'll try to keep them coming, but don't give up on me. I'm still going to be doing this stuff. Okay. Hope you all take care. Bye.